Are you considering buying your first house? Have you heard about co-op apartments but aren't sure what they entail? Well, you're in the right place because in this video, we'll delve into everything you need to know about co-op apartments, from understanding what they are to navigating the application process. And before we get into it, this is Gary, a licensed real estate agent based in the great state of New York, here to teach you everything about buying and selling real estate in the New York City real estate market. So like and subscribe to stay educated on the changing market. So let's get into it. First things first, what exactly is a co-op apartment? Unlike traditional condominiums where you own your unit outright, in a co-op, you're purchasing shares in a corporation that owns the entire building. Instead of a deed, you'll be provided a stock certificate and a proprietary lease. It's called a proprietary lease because the owner of the unit does not own the unit per se, but has an extended lease on the unit for an indefinite amount of time or amount of years into the future. And co-ops, when initially formed, are given a certain amount of years to essentially utilize the building as a co-op. And buyers will be taking that lease from the seller till that expiration date, but do not be afraid because co-ops commonly will renew their proprietary lease with the government when almost 30 years are remaining in the lease to ensure that buyers can really get that mortgage or refinance if they need to. These shares really entitle you to the exclusive use of that particular unit within the building. Think of it as buying into a community rather than just purchasing the house that you in lot. Depending on the way the co-op is managed, you'll typically be responsible for whatever is within the walls of your unit. Tip: you should really read the dense documents that come with every co-op purchase. The documents should describe how the co-op is governed and dig deeper into the restrictions and requirements. So for a co-op, there is a really unique power structure to the building. So the co-op is structured in a way there's a co-op board, a management company, and then you as a shareholder. The co-op board are individuals that live within the building that help manage the building and make sure that it is run properly. So think of the co-op board as an executive team for the building. The co-op board really hires a property management company that will do the day-to-day tasks to ensure that the building is running properly. And the board will take care of larger ticket items like deciding for what they should do for larger repairs and for the last round of buyer applications to make sure that the people that want to live in the building are people that would fit in with the building crowd. So for co-ops, this means that there's essentially a group of individuals that work on this board that has the power to accept or reject the prospective buyers, and they make sure that everything is working properly. So if there's any problems, you should essentially be reaching out to people on the board or the superintendent that lives in the building. Think of this group as the HOA committee for the community. So quick tip, after you successfully purchase your co-op unit, I recommend that you know who the individuals on the board are and take some time to really befriend them so that you can get better up-to-date notice on the co-op situation and things that you should be aware of. The co-op board will commonly host meetings, both public and private, depending on the topic at hand. For public meetings, there's a good chance you'll be able to attend these public meetings in person and really hear what's happening in the meetings, or you'll be hearing the meeting minutes and what was discussed about a certain topic. Within the co-op building, you will have the opportunity to be as involved as you would want. So if you do not attend all the meetings, it's okay, as every year you'll be provided the co-op financials and details about the co-op that will essentially give you a quick run-up about what's happening. Co-ops are actually quite popular in Queens, New York, where they offer a wide range of options at different price points. On average, a co-op apartment in Queens can range from $200,000 or less to over $600,000, depending on where you aim to buy. And these pricing really depend on the most common factors of where it is, how large the unit is, and what amenities the co-op provides within it, like gyms, laundry, and stuff like that. But before you start browsing options out there on the market, there are some unique aspects of co-ops that you should consider. Firstly, co-ops typically have a strict rules and regulations set by the co-op board. These can govern everything from renovations to subletting. As I said at the beginning of the video, you should read these co-op governing documents, the bylaws and the proprietary lease to really understand more about what you can do and what you can't do in the co-op. Secondly, when you buy into a co-op, you become part of the community. This means the decisions about the building, such as maintenance and upgrades, are made collectively by the shareholders. Depending on how the co-op is managed, the building can have a reserve fund to prepare for such needed maintenance and upgrades depending on how old the co-op is. If the building does not have a budget, the shareholders will see an increase in their monthly payments by a certain fee called assessment fee. If you are hit with assessment fee, should you own a co-op, you should be able to see how much you should be paying, how long that assessment will last for, and the reason for the fee. And lastly, financing a co-op purchase can be different from a traditional mortgage. Many co-op boards have more stringent financial requirements for potential buyers, including the minimum down payment that you're allowed, the debt to income ratios that you should have. So depending on the co-op, some would have a minimum income requirement and some multiple of the monthly maintenance in your savings account after closing. Now that you have a better understanding what a co-op is, let's talk about the application process. So for the co-op application timeline, it can vary, but really typically follows a similar process. So first, you'll need to submit a purchase application to the co-op board or property management company, if there is one. This application outlines exactly what they need, such as financial statement, tax returns, and letters of recommendations. So you need to make sure you have all the essential documents that they need in order so that you don't need to repeat this process. So make sure the first time you submit it has everything within it. So once you do submit this application to the property management company and it is approved by the management company, you'll likely be required to attend an interview with the co-op board. This is your chance to showcase why you're a good fit for the community. Be friendly, but answer their questions about what they ask. You don't need to elaborate too much, as sometimes if you elaborate too much, it might actually be harmful to your application process. As usually, they always have the power to deny you and not provide you a reason for why. So when you are done with that board interview process and they approve of your application, you'll receive a commitment letter. After you get that commitment letter, you'll finally close on the apartment and officially become a shareholder cooperative. So the main thing to keep in mind is this process might take a few weeks to several months. So patience is key, as each board runs on different timelines, and if you do try to rush it, it might actually harm your application too. Congratulations. Now that you have a quick rundown of everything about co-ops and knowledge that will help you during this process, remember that while the process may seem daunting at first, especially when compared to buying a normal house, but with the right guidance and preparation, owning a co-op can be a rewarding experience. So main thing is, if you found this video helpful, so be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more real estate tips and advice. Thanks for watching and happy co-op hunting.